So I was raised with a healthy belief in God and always thought that believing in God and having faith in God were one and the same. Boy, was I wrong. Over the years, I've had many fallings out with God, and even through all of that, I've always believed in Him. Having said that, there have been many times that I have been angry at God and struggled with, and even at times questioned why I believed in God. My understanding of the difference between believing in God and having faith in Him came the night of September 16th, 2017. The day started out like any normal September day. The sun was shining, and it was the kind of day that you could rejoice in. I remember that because of how hot it was. We'd gone swimming in our pond. The water was freezing cold, but because of how hot it was, I didn't mind. Later that evening, things took a turn for me. I wasn't feeling the greatest. My asthma had decided that right then and there would be a good time to flare up. So I asked my daughter to set up my medication for me, and I would go and let the medication do its thing. However, that is not what happened. I remember my husband coming into the trailer, and I remember telling him that not only was I not getting any better, in fact, I was getting worse. I remember trying to stand, and almost as if in slow motion, I felt myself sinking to the ground. Rob picked me up off the floor, and he told me that he would move the tractor and he would take me to the hospital. That was the last thing that I remember. From what Rob has told me, he walked out of the trailer to move the tractor. He wasn't 30 feet from the trailer door, and he heard me fall off of the bed. He ran back inside to see me laying on the floor, and I had already turned blue. Rob then yelled for our daughter to call 911, and he began CPR. Neil helped Rob as best he could get air into my lungs. For 35 minutes, Rob performed CPR on me by himself, with nobody to take over and give his arms a rest. During those 35 minutes, I was clinically dead. And during that 35 minutes, God taught me an incredible lesson that I will never forget as long as I live. God truly taught me the difference between believing in Him and having faith in Him. While Rob was tirelessly doing CPR on me, I was truly blessed by God. When I tell my story, I'm always asked the same question: did you see God? To which I very proudly respond, not only have I seen God, I was blessed to be in His presence, and I was blessed to talk with Him. I've always been the type of person to have control in every aspect of my life. And while I was talking with God, He said something that at first confused me. He smiled at me and said, "I know that you're an incredibly strong and independent woman, exactly the way that I created you. I also know that you've struggled in your faith, but I know in your heart that even in troubling times, you still believe in me. Now I need you to have faith in me." I spoke to God as though I was talking to a friend, and I responded with, "I don't understand. What do you mean I have to have faith in you? Even in my darkest times, and even when I haven't wanted to, I've always believed in you." God's response was, "Standing by my side with your belief. You've always had control of your life, but in this moment, you need to have faith in me, and you need to let go of your control. I've held you this long, but if I am to help you and restore you, you must have faith in me. Stop holding on and just be held." I'll admit, being in control of every aspect of my life has always been somewhat of a safety net for me. And to be told by God Himself that I have to give up that safety net was scary. I also knew in my heart of hearts that following the path that God was laying before my feet was the only way I was going to see my family again. I then looked at God and proclaimed, "You are my Father. I love you, I believe in you, and I have faith that in letting go, you will restore all that has been taken from me." God looked at me with a smile on His face and said, "I see your heart, and I see your faith in me growing. Remember, no matter how hard things seem, lay it down, let it go. I will always hold you." At that moment, I took my first breath after 35 minutes with being without oxygen. The paramedics took me to the hospital in Huntsville, and that's when my crazy journey started. At the hospital, I had many tests done to figure out what had happened. At first, I was told I had a grand mal seizure, and that according to the CT scan that had been done, I had stage 4 lung cancer and I had a year at most to live. Upon hearing these diagnoses, I knew in my heart that God had a plan for me. I had no idea what that plan was, but I knew there was a plan. That night, I heard something that I'd never heard before. I heard my husband cry. I heard the prayer he prayed, and I heard him thank God for bringing me back to him and asking God to do everything in his power to continue to save and protect me. I woke up on the Monday morning, and once again, my life changed. God was teaching me a new lesson. This lesson ended up being a lesson I should have learned long ago, but never did. God was teaching me how to depend on others and to ask for help, even when I thought I didn't need it. When I woke up on the Monday morning, 2 of my major abilities were gone. My ability to walk and my ability to talk. I remember going to get out of bed to use the bathroom and realizing I had no use for my legs. That's when I discovered my inability to speak. I went to ask Rob for help to get out of bed, and all that came out of my mouth was, "Help me." I spent the next 8 months relearning how to walk and talk. 2 things that I'd always taken for granted, just gone. During those 8 months, I learned that leaning on others and leaning on God was not something to be ashamed of. During that time, I also learned I didn't have a grand mal seizure and I didn't have stage 4 lung cancer. We have, however, learned that I have a condition called sarcoidosis. It's an inflammatory disease that affects my eyes, my lungs, my heart, and my brain, and it can stop me at any given time without warning. I'm not letting that control my life though, as I know that my faith in God is all I need to truly control my life. God is great. Since September 2017, I've had my life taken away, my faith in life restored. I've had to relearn how to walk and talk, and I've gone back to school to become a personal support worker. I know that God doesn't do anything with malice intent, but I've also learned firsthand that sometimes God does go to an extreme to make it His listen. God knew that I wasn't hearing what He was trying to tell me, and I know that everything I have gone through is His way of making me stop and truly listen. God has, and always has, a plan for me in my life. I've learned that even though I may not want to know what it is, and I may not agree with it, God has always had my best interest in heart. There's a song that's helped me through all of this. It's called Just Be Held by Casting Crows. God is great. I want to thank each and every one of you here for the help and for all the prayers that myself and my family have received from you. I'm truly blessed to be a part of this family. I pray that God blesses each and every one of you